Since we've reduced the number of videos that we've been doing, so many of you have been asking how I've been doing being pregnant, how the baby's doing, because I guess you don't get to see how we're doing so much now we're doing less videos. So I thought it was probably a good idea to give you a pregnancy update, and also it's a nice thing for me to be able to have to look back on to see how I'm doing at different points along my pregnancy. So this is another pregnancy update. So I am now 26 weeks pregnant, and our last update was around 20 weeks, but just before we had our 20-week scan. So we had that and everything went so well that they're really happy with the baby, how it's doing, that everything looks like it's really healthy, and they said that shouldn't change between now and when the baby's born. And it was amazing because in the appointment they did so many different things that they don't do back in the UK. Like they check your cervix to see how your cervix are doing, because that's an indicator of whether you might go into early labour, which is really interesting. And it just was a really positive appointment. So we came out feeling very excited and feeling really good, knowing that everything is going really well so far. In our last pregnancy update, I did not really have a bump still. I was 20 weeks pregnant and did not have a bump. Well, that has changed, and it happened very quickly. It seems like literally in the last 2 weeks or so, my bump has gone from being quite hidden away to very obvious. I'm really quite big, which is fun because it means everyone knows I'm pregnant now, rather than me having to kind of just drop it into conversations, which I don't really like doing. But at the same time, it also has given me not very much time to adjust to having a bump, and so suddenly trying to reach the floor or even just hold Noah is actually really difficult, and it just feels really in the way because it's quite solid and quite present compared to what it was before. But hopefully it doesn't grow too much over the next couple of weeks and months compared to how much it's grown in the last few weeks, because I will be huge otherwise. But something I've been quite wary of this pregnancy compared to being pregnant with Noah is how much weight I've been gaining, because with Noah I ate for two. I took that whole pregnancy eating for two thing very seriously with him, and I put on so much weight, and it was just really hard work being pregnant with him, especially towards the end. So this time I've really tried to be careful. I haven't tried to eat more. I just, if I've been hungry, I'll have something, and if I'm not really hungry, then I'll just eat a normal amount. And so that does seem to have gone quite well. So I'm currently in a normal percentage of weight gain, which is good for how pregnant I am. But my only problem is sweet stuff. I have the sweetest tooth at the moment. After almost every meal I find I'm craving something sugary, like even after breakfast, which is really bad. So I've had to get Ethan to hide the Nutella because I just cannot handle it. As soon as I have one spoonful, I literally have like 5, which is so bad. And so that's been hidden. I need to get that under control, because I don't think it's even pregnancy. I think it literally is just me craving sweet things. That I'm addicted to sweet stuff. So I'm trying to get that under control, but it is hard. So if you guys have any tips on how to control an addiction to sugar, basically, please share them, because I am definitely struggling right now with that. In terms of pregnancy symptoms, thankfully I don't feel sick at all anymore. That stopped at probably about 14 weeks or so. And because my bump wasn't that big, I wasn't feeling too huge or achy or anything, whereas that has started to creep up on me quite a bit. And so my back will get really achy if I'm on my feet too much during the day, or if I'm holding Noah, which happens quite a lot sometimes. So I am trying to kind of rest, sit down as and when I can. But other than that, I don't really have any other symptoms with this pregnancy. That everything has just been really quite straightforward, the same as with Leo and Noah. The only other thing is tiredness, but I don't know how much of that is pregnancy related. That most of that is just because I have 2 children already, and obviously I am pregnant, and so I'm gonna be tired, and that's just gonna be a fact of life for the next 10 years probably. In our last pregnancy update, I also shared my slightly embarrassing pregnancy issue that I've been having, which is my pelvic floor, which isn't the strongest, especially after having 2 children and now being pregnant for the 3rd time. It needs work, and so I've been seeing a specialist, and I am still doing my exercises, and it has improved. But the only problem is now my bump's getting in the way, that when I bend down it presses on my bladder, which is mildly problematic, but obviously, you know, we're working through it and stuff, so that's good. But that is an issue. The specialist said that it won't actually go away during pregnancy, that it's only once you've had your baby that you can actually properly sort your pelvic floor out. So it's one of those things you just have to do do what you can whilst you're pregnant. Something that I found this pregnancy that I didn't experience with Noah is that I'm actually really excited to have the baby. Whereas with Noah, I was dreading it, and that sounds really bad. But with Leo, I'm pretty sure I had postnatal depression, so I found the first 6 months really hard. I just did not enjoy it. Obviously there were times when I was happy and I enjoyed being a parent, but in the moment I just remember hearing people announce they were pregnant or having their babies, and I did not feel excited for them in the slightest. I was like, oh, poor them almost, because it was really hard. It was a big adjustment for me, and I just assumed, because I was never formally diagnosed with postnatal depression or anything, it's only been looking back that I think I had it, that I just assumed that having Noah I would go through all those emotions again, and it would be just twice as hard because I had 2 children this time. And it wasn't. It was a really pleasant, enjoyable experience. I enjoyed having a newborn. Obviously there were tiring times and things, but it was a very different experience having Leo. It feels so nice. I'm not dreading having the baby. I'm really excited to be able to go through all the new things, and I know it's going to be hard at times. I'm really excited to be able to have a little newborn. I almost can't imagine having a newborn now because Noah's so big. So I'm excited, which is just such a nice feeling compared to last time. And the boys are really excited too, which is so sweet, that Leo will keep talking all the time about when the baby's going to be born, how old the baby will be. He's really learning the concept of what it means to be born, and he asked the other day how a baby's born, and Ethan and I weren't really sure what kind of answer we should give him. We tried our best. Tried not to make it too detailed or anything. For now it might scar him a little bit, but it's so sweet to see them excited and want to understand more about the process of having a baby and what is going to happen when the baby arrives and things. It's really, really sweet. The final update we have is names. Do we have a name? Have we picked one out yet? And the answer is no. We are really struggling with names. We have so many on our list of possibilities, but there aren't really any that are jumping out to us like, yes, that's definitely the name. We feel really that is a good choice for our family. But we still have lots of time to think about it, and actually today there was one name that we both were like, actually that's quite a nice name. That would fit nicely with Leo and Noah, but whether we stick with it or not, I don't know. So we're not going to share any of our names quite yet, but a bit closer to the time I think we probably will share the names that we decide we're not using that we really like. And we will be doing a name reveal probably after the baby's born because we're so unsure about what to call her. So that is how my pregnancy is going so far at 26 weeks. It really is going so quickly, which is nice because it did feel so long away when we initially found out we were pregnant that October seemed forever away. And so if you have any other questions about how this pregnancy is going that I didn't cover, let me know in the comments and I will happily answer them. And we'll hopefully do another update or two in the next couple of weeks and months because it is fun to be able to look back on how this pregnancy is going. And we will see you next time. Goodbye!